I'm not sure I've ever played a game that has made me cringe quite as hard as Neon White, and yet I just can't put it down. It's a great pick up and play kind of game. And then, the cutscenes. The dialogue. Eh. Neon White is a first person shooter slash puzzle platformer slash speedrunning game. It revolves around the premise of having to exterminate demons for a chance to live in heaven. Gameplay is lightning fast, first person shooting, with the goal in each level to eliminate all demons, and reach the end as quickly as possible, utilizing the specific weapons and their abilities given to you in that level. Neon White is one of those games that feels amazing to play. After the first few levels, you start to build a sort of flow as new abilities and new weapons are introduced. You speed through the levels like whoosh, wah, as you hit the finish line. You realize that the most obvious route isn't always the fastest, and as you begin to exploit the mechanics of the game to shave seconds off your time, there's a real sense of achievement and satisfaction when you attain your first platinum, the reward for beating the fastest time on a level. It reminds me of the parkour level in Titanfall 2 or nailing a tricky jump in Mario. You realize you've been holding your breath, and when you land it, it's not with relief you exhale, but with a huge grin. It doesn't hold your hand either. New enemies that need to be dealt with in specific ways, or new environmental items aren't always explained. But chances are you've played enough video games to know, yeah, red barrel probably goes boom, but also the red barrel probably makes me jump really high if I'm over it when it blows up.
12 seconds.
The nature of the levels being mostly shorter than a minute means it's also easy to just drop in and out. If you have 5 minutes, you can get through a few levels, put the game down, and just pick it back up and keep playing. The soundtrack then enhances the overall atmosphere, the thumping beats pushing you on in each level. It's the right combo of background music, but you realize you've been bobbing your head along to the beat the whole time. The sounds of firing the guns and using their secondary abilities add to the rhythm of the game, as you wait those extra few seconds to double jump or dash. Neon White has this amazing clean style to it, which makes sense, you're supposed to be in heaven. Everything is this pristine white, which makes some of the later missions in more dilapidated areas more striking. The way forward in each level is usually obvious, with demons and weapons littering their path. There's enough visual distinction between these that you always have those precious seconds to plan what you're going to do next, and then it's immediately on to what's after that. There were definitely times where the way forward was unclear, but restarting the level at the push of a button means there's low friction if you get lost or just want to restart for a better time. Right. So far, so good. Gameplay's cool, soundtrack is cool, visuals are cool, the game's cool, yes. But then the cutscenes, the dialogue between the characters. When a cutscene starts, I feel myself bracing, like I'm anticipating a crash. I don't know if it's meant to be like this.
Start this again.
Is it tongue-in-cheek? Look into the camera? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge sort of thing? Am I meant to be laughing at it? Not with it? Anyway, it makes my skin crawl. The anime ooh-woo of it all, the constant use of internet speak. No one is meant to say words like negging out loud. And the incessant horniness of the thing. I don't know if I'm getting older, or if I'd have thought that this was cool or edgy 10 years ago, but
I feel like I've just
here I am now, feeling like the living embodiment of that Steve Buscemi "How do you do, fellow kids" gif playing this.
What the point is that vending machine is, though.
So in the end, it's a battle inside my mind.
Oh, well.
This is probably one of my favourite games I've played this year, and I would highly recommend it. But, alas, cringe. Thankfully, it's not like you need to pay attention to the story, which, to be fair, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with. Hitman, amnesia, intrigue. If you're a dad or a parent like me, time is always a huge factor in what you can play, and the pick up and play nature of Neon White means it's a game I actually finished this year. The story is mercifully easy to ignore, but if you do decide to stick with it, I will say it's not something you want to have to explain to a partner or child who might overhear the dialogue. Once again, I do not know how to end these videos, so if you thought this was mildly interesting, please subscribe, and I promise to continue ranting.